Hello everyone. I have Vineet with me, and Vineet has cleared Capgemini. So Vineet Nayak is from computer science, right? And he has cleared Capgemini senior analyst role. Okay, and so it comes for a higher package of 7.5. So Vineet, congratulations, and yeah. So I have also done a series before with Vineet on internships, right? So Vineet is a very bright student of ours. And so, Vineet, just tell what was the eligibility criteria? What's the designation for this?
So Capgemini, when they came to Sayadri, so we had two offers. So one for analyst and for senior analyst.
Yeah.
And it was open for three branches, I guess.
Yes.
Computer CS, IS, and EC. And the criteria was like 60%. We need to have more than that. And like the
Only in engineering or 10th and 12th?
Means only in engineering.
Okay. Yeah, yes. All right.
So like the criteria is like it was matched for me, but I think yeah, the one is they need to be in these three branches and the percentage of more than 60%. And
what's your percentage?
So it came around 84%.
Okay, so you're bright, huh? It's safe on the safe zone.
And I think whenever attending a company, right? So it's always better to have a consistent record of percentage. So mine it was like 81, 83 and 84. 81 in 10th, 83 in 12th and 84 in engineering.
Oh, good. So usually it descends. 10th is highest and then it goes on. Yeah. Engineering takes a dip. Yours is the other way around. So I think that really shows that you are very passionate about engineering.
Yes, ma'am. So what matters is, so whenever we go to write an exam, right? So experiences matter. So how a grip on the subject matters. So if we learn more on the subjects, so then it will be easier for us to score more things. And what I used to do, like I never used to like read a book. So I'm like not recommending this to whoever's seeing this. So but I used to like prepare and go through all the key notes before just going for the examination, so that it will be easy for me to memorize and write for an exam.
Right.
I could get more marks.
So your approach is a little different.
Yes.
Yeah, but then I think it's helped you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then what are the rounds for Capgemini for this role?
So they had 3 rounds. So one was like a packed round, so wherein they had a pseudocode in the first section. So for a senior analyst, so we had to perform much better, means far better. We had to top it. And in the like pseudocode round 2, we had 2 sections. So one section we used to have data structures questions, trees and graphs questions, and in next pseudocode part, another section in that. So we used to have only the programmatic questions, and we had to solve it. So it's like really simple. So the codes are written in a user readable way. So also they will include like say for example you had something like asterisk. So they used to tell it's an XOR symbol. So how it works they used to mention over there. So we just need to read it and then solve it. So the solving takes time, but we need to be careful. We need to like just look at the question once, because like what happens is sometimes inside a for loop, if they have if and else condition, they used to keep another statement over there. So what happens usually is we used to miss it. So we need to be careful over there. And yes, if for the pseudocode round, so what I did is, so yes, we have placement trainings going on. Yes, so I'm like attentive to the training, and means I used to listen whenever I used to listen. And yes, whatever the reference materials they shared, right? So I went through it once. I was like, what happens in my friend's case was they were like overconfident.
Okay.
I know everything.
Yeah.
So that should not be an approach.
Yes. Because I think that would be the case, because we had 105 selects in the end, but only 2 for this role, right? Senior analyst, we got 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the others were somehow would have missed it here.
Yes. Actually, after this first round, so only 7 got shortlisted for senior analyst role. Means they had a coding round in between.
Yes.
So there again, so the practicing a different like programming language, right? So I'm not telling you like sit every day and program. No. So whenever you get a time, so for example, you have 24 hours and you will be getting anywhere 1 to 2 hours, even though if you are in engineering, we get a free times.
Yeah.
So during which like try different problems. So we have enough resources here these days. So when we began engineering or when like seniors began engineering, so online resources were like very low. So now there are plenty online resources.
So what would be something which you would recommend, some of the good sites?
Okay, so one site I got recently, so after this completing Capgemini, so for data structure part, so that is jvn.ai. So he has like amazing...
JV and
javian.ai.
Okay.
So he has like amazing set of contents for data structures.
All right.
And it will be like really helpful if they start earlier. Say it's not like I reach final year, I do it. No. So at least in the sixth semester, if in the earlier phase, if we like go through it, even Geeks for Geeks, they have like around 30 to 40 questions related to the core companies. So they can like just solve. They cannot solve in the first part. So it's like it will be like really tricky and difficult. But we soon, as we solve more number of problems, we start seeing the patterns between the questions.
Okay.
So next time when someone throws a question at you, so you will be like going behind the logic part and not thinking about the syntaxes.
Okay.
So if we code more, if we learn more, so our like job of like writing a proper syntax will decrease.
Okay.
So we will by default write it.
Okay.
So only thing matters is the logic.
All right. Yeah.
So logic comes by practicing more questions.
More. All right. So how soon? I mean, right in the second year, if people can start off.
Yes, definitely.
Is it
like,
good?
say, if they are planning for a top companies like Google, Microsoft,
Yes.
they need to start early.
Yes.
Because, like, the questions, whatever we experience, like, get in different companies, right? So, it's like, might be easier. But the top companies, the question will be, like, really hard. So, if we want to find that pattern and write that logic in top companies, right? So, they need to start early.
All right.
And they need to like it's better always to get a better technical internships and work on a projects and things. So because clearing a company will be easy in that point.
So for you, after this, what was there? I mean, the rounds.
Yes, after the pseudocode we had English round. English was like more of passages and completing the sentence and like checking for incomplete sentences. So I think that was easy for me because like I used to read books, and reading books should be an habit. Okay. So along with the coding, so you need to read a book. Yeah. And there is one book like Word Power Made Easy. Word Power Made Easy. Yes. So just go through it and solve the exercises there. So most of the companies, right? So they have an English round. Yeah. So and engineers don't do good. Yes. Many of them they get eliminated. Yes. For that, so solving such problems means going through English and listening to English more. Right. So most of the times the questions are tricky. We are like confused whether we need to put but, because, or whatever. So if we like listen and once we fix that sentence fix that word in a sentence, and again if we listen, right, so we will like get a clear sense like what will be the answer. Right. So reading should be definitely an option, not an option. It should be made a part of journey. Yeah. All right. Okay. So anyway, you cleared English. So, but I think many people also lost because of the English round. Okay. Yes. And then after that? And after that, we had a gaming round. So gaming round, basically they want to see like how accurate you are, right? So how quickly you can grab the contents or grasp the things. So gaming was easy. Like there were 5 games. So type of Sudoku type of things. I don't exactly remember the games before because like it was like easy for me. Means I'm not telling it easy because whatever may be easy may not be for others. But I recommend you playing the games like Sudoku, and there is 2048 games. 2 becomes 4 such games, and even there is moving the bricks. So such types of games are like helpful when it comes to like the company is offering the gaming rounds. Okay. So they also had a sample gaming something, right? Yes. So the best part of Capgemini was in the gaming round they used to like give you a demo there first. You can take demo as many number of times. There are no restrictions. Okay. So and once you are like confident, and if you like feel confident and go for it, then you can go ahead. Okay. That way. So there again, so there was like no elimination, but they actually eliminated after the results were, after the rounds were done. Okay. And again, so our agenda is to like clear more than in each game, right? They have different levels. So our aim need to be like clearing more than 8 levels. Okay. So it will be a leading edge to qualify for the next round. All right. Okay. And after that, you had what was the next round? It was behavior round. Okay. So wherein it was like not an elimination round. They were just curious to know like how this person thinks about work experience. Yeah. So I think there we need to be little like truthful about ourselves and answer it. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then you got the result, and then. Yeah, so I think it was around 27th of August, and after 1 week, we got this coding round result. So there again, so I think 1 or 10 from Sayatri qualified for everything, and only
it was 118.
118.
118,
sorry,
yes.
sorry for it.
No, that's okay. So 118, but I think for your
coding round only 7 rounds shortlisted. And again, the coding rounds were like easy. The problems whenever we see, right, so it was like easy. But what mattered there was like how efficiently we write our code. For example, if we write if they asked to write a program to like reverse a string, in Python we can do it in a single line. So sometimes what we do is we think over we think much and we write a lengthy program, so that they like never go for it, so they go behind the approach. And so we had 3 questions. One was to find a perfect number. So perfect number is basically a number, so they will like describe it in the this thing. And another was like more related to a data structure thing. So the problems are like simple because I solved it. Means I used to solve in the Geeks for Geeks or Hacker Rank, and even Hacker Earth. In Hacker Earth, right? So they have their own program for the beginners. So it's like from Code Monk, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, Code Monk. They have a beginner level of questions. So the users can, or the whoever is seeing this can get familiar with the basic coding questions and then jump to Hacker Rank. So in Hacker Rank, it's like application level questions, and it takes you to like think more. So solving that will be easy if we are like we have that fundamental strong. All right.
So then you had the coding, and so so for you it was sort of medium tough or
yes, it was moderate. So we had 3 questions. The first question carried 10 marks, and then 20 each.
So can you give an example as to sort of question you remember?
Yes, one is that perfect number question. And I think I don't remember much. I mean, since I see different questions in a day-to-day life, right? So I tend to forget it.
Well, that's all right. And then after that.
And after that, after I think 2 to 3 days, we had the next shortlisted result, and we for whoever cleared it, right? So 3 members cleared it, and we had a technical round, and who didn't clear it, they were like not eliminated. So it was not an elimination round. They had a HR interview. Yes.
All right. And so for you then, what was it? Technical round, an interview?
Yes, technical round of interview. So yes, only 3 got shortlisted, and our timings were like one had from 10:30 to 11:30, 11:30 to 12:30. I had it from 12:30 to 1:30. So I asked the others 2 for an experience.
That was the last one, right?
Yes. So they were like they said it was easy, and the first whoever went, I think it was Anjana. So she said like it was easy. One ma'am took it for her, and she asked about like percentages and things. So usually in the technical interview they don't focus on the things, but when it came to my technical interview, he asked me like to introduce myself. So the key in the technical interviews is, so whenever we come in, right, so we need to like start a conversation, not just wait for them to start a conversation. So what happens when we start a conversation, they will be like he wants to interact, and they will be like our close friends, right? So most of the times I see my friends going for a technical interview or HR interview, they will be under the stress. So the stress is because they are meeting up people for a first time, or the person for a first time, and they are like not familiar like how is going to talk or how is it going to be. So we need to be confident, right? So for that we need to make a friend and we need to start an interaction. Then he asked me to like introduce myself. I introduced myself, and in that introduction too, right? So whenever we are going to introduce, so we need to have a tagline. So for example, in my case, I used to introduce myself as I am Vinith, a leader by nature and techie by passion.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how it's going to work. So we need to like have a tagline. Tagline like makes a person more curious to know.
No, that comes with confidence also, because Vineet has been doing a lot of stuff, right? So I would not recommend too much of this for somebody who's very fresh and raw, because it may not sound very you may not be very comfortable. But basically, like you very rightly said, it's a conversation. An interview is not an interrogation. It's a conversation between 2 people. And naturally, they are very friendly, right? So at that time, please open up. When they ask you, please say, don't be in those monosyllables and, that to the point, right? They're waiting for you to express yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, like, whenever we go for any company technical interview for that matter, so we need to go through the videos, right? So we will be like uncertain, like what type of questions come to us. I went through your YouTube channel for Capgemini previous recordings, and I was like, I got to know like with the pattern, right? So they asked about MySQL, they asked about DBMS questions, they asked about your Python questions, right? In Python, I had two questions like.
Did it help? I mean, that was an old video, but somewhat
yes,
similar.
It helped.
Okay,
It helped. In one video, she mentioned that they asked you to like mask the emails, right? So after that, I was like shocked. Like I need to be well prepared for it. I need to learn a lot about it. So then I went through Geek for Geeks and then started solving the questions. So then he asked about list and dictionary and differences, and he asked to hard code it, and he also gave me a real time scenario like wherein what is RDBMS, what is DBMS, and then he asked me to write a query. So what he basically checks is your confidence. He never checks the syntax. He never checks your answer, anything. But he was like confident, and he might be tricky sometimes. Like it might, isn't this wrong? So he basically checks our confidence, and we need to answer like accordingly. And main thing, we should not lie.
Yes.
So if we don't know something, we need to be like, I don't know. I mean, it's not directly, but we need to like I never got an opportunity to go through it, and if I get an opportunity to be at this point, I'll definitely learn, and whenever I'll be joining, right, so I'll be learning it. So that need to be an approach.
All right.
And speaking about the coding round, right, so I listen from my friends that they tell that they are shy at public speaking. So here the public speaking doesn't come into picture, right? It's like we are talking to just two, like just how I and ma'am are talking, right? So the same works there.
And again, it becomes it is your subject, right? You're not talking about some random thing. So you have studied that for 4 years. Only if you have if you know what you have to speak, then the confidence comes. Then you can speak, right? Otherwise, what will you speak?
Yes, ma'am, exactly. And always like there will be some like small documents we get it from Geeks for Geeks too, right? For example, if you're not comfortable about data structures, just Google it. I mean 15 minutes earlier to your interview, just Google data structure questions that may pop up in technical interviews, right? So and just be like curious and start your brain to work. And it's not like you're directly going for a technical interview and then you will like start thinking. No, start to think previously, and then so that you can go in a flow, right? And just practice in front of a mirror how you're expressing the things, and then the confidence will directly come in.
Okay. So so in the interview, more or less that was it, right?
Yes. So he asked me to write a like SQL query. So the question was like, it was like a scenario based. So we have two tables in which one both the table had a common column names, and I need to write a query without using the join symbol to just print the details of the given names. So that was a basic SQL query, and I could write it. And he also asked me, so is this correct?
Okay.
So yes, and then was like I was like confident that it was correct, and yes, I told him that right, and then.
So Vineet, is there anything that you would like to share? What resources they could go? I mean, students should go look into, or what should they be doing? Of course, you've covered a lot of what the students could be doing, but anything in particular which you would want to add, and we can sum up.
Yes, ma'am, sure. So one thing I like recommend each and every student is they need to have an experience, right? So for me in technical interview, I spoke about my interview. It means experience of working with the startups. So they need to like find this confidence, and they need to like apply for an internship and find an internship, no matter how good or bad it is, right? So in the initial stage, if they get even a campus ambassador interview, right? So they will be open to it, and the public speaking thing can be made more strong. So they need to find an internship. They need to like not all the time waste their times, but sometimes they need to like each day, for example 30 minutes a day, they need to like at least solve the problem, because what happens is solve one problem at least, so the pattern or logic forming will be very easy for them. And also there are like plenty of resources like W3 schools, Geeks for Geeks.
What are the W3 schools?
Yes. Okay. So if they are interested in learning about web technologies, HTML, CSS, they can go through W3 schools and then learn it. And if for example, what I see from many friends is they go behind each and every like languages, programming languages. They go behind C, they go behind C++, they go behind Java, Python. But when it comes to programming, right, they are like not, they don't have a like strong grip in at least one language. So what I recommend is you need to learn syntax of each and every programming language. Yes, good, but you need to like be more confident in at least one programming language. For example, if you are comfortable in Python, and you need to be able to like read code, write code, and even like if someone some bugs come in, you need to like be able to solve it. So you need to have a strong fundamental language in at least one. So if someone is planning to like learn a new programming language, yes, I recommend them to learn a C, right? So if they have a strong fundamental knowledge of C, then learning other language will be like very simple.
C is mandatory.
Yeah, C is mandatory.
Okay.
I mean,
there's no escape.
No escape.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. You know, so I mean, many of times the companies also telling that C, please learn C. So,
yes.
Okay.
So the thing is, there are like plenty of concepts in C programming language, C and C++, right? So if we can learn it, learning other is just the syntax changes, and the concept will be more or less the same. And again, we need to like learn more about data structures and algorithms. There are like plenty of data structures. We need to go through it, because sometimes we can't expect the questions, right? So it's like we are going for a match, and we can't expect whether we get a bouncer or we get a full toss or anything like that. So we need to be ready for any balls that's coming to us.
Okay. Yes, Vineet. So thank you so much. And if there's any resources that you would like to share, or should we put, I mean, you can pass it on to me. I can put in the description.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be sharing a few resources through you, the links which were helpful for me and for my other friends too.
All right.
You can like share it in your description.
So in the description, we'll be sharing it. So thank you, Vineet, very much. Yeah. And it's bye from both of us.